Greetings, and yes, the table is still in a mess. I'm still trying to get that small radius right hand point that I need, and quite simply I ran out of budget for this year. Fortunately, with everything that comes out next week, dividends, whatever you call it, interest on savings, what have you, I should be able to work out what my budget's going to be for next year to some extent for these smaller items. So I suppose technically if I have to buy a brand new one, I'll have to buy a brand new one, but I don't really fancy forking out the best part of 30 quid just for that, when it's only for the DC side of it. But never mind. This week is going to be slightly different. As you can see, I'm calling it for this week My Railways plural, the model and the real thing, because at the time of filming this is the celebration of the 25th anniversary of the reopening of Bodiam station, and I was fortunate enough to have a hand in producing some publicity for the 20th anniversary. Some of it I think has been used, odd little photographs and things in what's been put out for this anniversary. I won't be able to get to the official celebration on Saturday with the speeches and what have you, but the footage that you'll see from the railway, I will be there on the Sunday, and hopefully we can still capture some of the flavour of it, particularly with the locomotive that's going to be used, which is a type identical to what's going to be coming into shot very soon. There she is. This is a lovely little model. It's Hornby, and as you can see, it's an ex-London Brighton and South Coast Railway Terrier in its livery when it ran on the Kent and East Sussex, number 3 Bodiam. This, if my memory serves me correctly, when it was built for the LBSCR, as in common with a lot of the other terriers, they were named after places in London, and this was Poplar. I think you can still see Fenchurch on the Bluebell Railway. We have got a couple of terriers, one of which is still working at the moment, and hopefully you'll see that when I record it on the Sunday. But I've coupled that up with, there we go, this is a special wagon. It's obviously a Code 3, made from a Dapol coal wagon, but it's been done very nicely in the livery of the Kent and East Sussex Railway, and it fits very nicely running behind Bodiam. This is a very nice smooth running model actually, and we'll I'll do is I'll move the camera to that side and I'll just give it a couple of runs round so that you can see it before we say goodbye to the model room. And I want to make sure I get as much footage of the real railway as I can this time. Yes, there we are. Somebody commented not so long ago that the real test of a railway locomotive is not how fast it runs, but how slowly it runs. I agree with that, but I made the point at the time that, you know, for these videos people like to see the train running, and I can worry about scale speeds if I need to when the layout is finished. It's just a question of getting it up and running, and so many of these locomotives are new, they need running in. This one's looking a bit odd at the front. Let me just... Anyway, there we are. This seems strange. Let's have a look and see what's happened here. There. For some reason, bodywork is not sitting properly on it. Now, I could have redone this, I suppose. And I thought about it. I thought, well, no, because part of the reason with me doing these videos is not just to show you the good bits that come out okay, but also the stupidity sometimes that I have. Now, when you're looking at this film, you can quite clearly see that rear wheel, or the rear set of wheels, is off the track. Daft as it sounds, I hadn't noticed that. My eyes were firmly fixed to the front, which looked a bit odd. I had no idea that those back wheels were off because, I mean, as you can see for yourself, the thing was running around quite nicely. So that was quite a surprise to me. And also the couple of bits of the volume weren't quite right. So my apologies for that. But I always try and present you warts and all. And sometimes it's good for you to see when things go wrong. Makes it look very odd. But anyway, she's a lovely runner. And hopefully you'll be able to see the real thing when I film it on Sunday. Forwards and backwards. He works very well indeed. And that's it. I'll get a bit more light on there. Oh yes, there we are, look at that. Number 3, Bodiam. You see what I mean about it sits on that track at an awkward... I don't think there's anything off about it. It's just rather odd way it's sitting on the track. I'll have to investigate that further, but it doesn't affect the running. So there we are. Only just a little bit from the model room this week. Hopefully in a fortnight's time I will have sourced that point and you will see the model table looking very much different. So right now we'll end it here, and probably what I might do, I think now, is to show some before and after photos of Bodiam Station before the restoration, and we'll take it from there. Back soon. Well, here we are in 1954, prior to final goods closure. Now if you stood in the same position nowadays, it wouldn't look an awful lot different, except for a tree in the station master's garden on the right. But this is what it looked like prior to the restoration for 2000. It had been sort of restored before in 1980 for a couple of seasons for short runs to Dixter Hall, but then was left to rack and ruin again. So here we are, all looking very spick and span after the final restoration, ready for the opening in the year 2000. God, 25 years ago. And we're still going. Perhaps like most railways, not as strongly as we would have liked, but we're still going. And there is our Terrier that performed part of the opening ceremony. Hopefully I will be able to record this again for this video. And here are the speeches. I say I shall miss them on Saturday, but as with any reopening, all the local dignitaries were there, and the official opening was performed by the Duke of Gloucester, see here with the glasses, meeting local dignitaries, I guess you could say. Note the police constable in the background. That takes you back, doesn't it? So, without further ado, let us move on. Now, I showed you a black and white picture earlier of the station as it was in 1954. This is 2025. Not a lot different, is it? The only thing of course we have to have now is level crossing gates. It would not be allowed to have an open crossing anymore on a road like this. And where there was a hedge around a little platform garden in 1954, we now have a very attractive little station garden which Colin has worked on very hard. A shame I couldn't get here yesterday to film the opening ceremonies and that, but if you go on the Kent and East Sussex Railway website, or actually on the KESR YouTube channel, you'll probably find that there will be film of it before too much longer. Here we are on the Sunday, the 6th of April. It's a lovely bright sunny day, but as has so often been happening since we've reopened at the beginning of February, there is a freezing cold wind blowing down the valley. However, the wood pigeons are up there. I thought I heard a skylark just then. Castle's over there. This is probably one of the last times this year we will actually be able to get to see it, if I can find it. Oh yes, there it is. I'll just go to the other side of the post there. I don't know if I've said before, but my cousin, who does all the family genealogy, he's found out that the man who built this, Edward Dallingrick, was in all probability a great uncle of ours, many times removed. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but it's a personal connection, as is of course our family connection with the hopping round here. I know I'm walking into the sun a bit here, but I mean, those of you who follow my channel, you know I've recorded a lot of this stuff before, but this is mainly for new folk to see what we've got here at the station, our recreated hopper's hut. But the one thing we do take pride in is our hop garden. Early days yet, but we've got about 30 hops here that will, we hope, suddenly start to take off. Didn't get a very good crop last year, but we hope for better things this year. And then of course there's the station master's garden. Frank will bring a load of dahlias in later in the year, just put round it, and they're lovely. At the moment there's just preparations. I see he's put his onions in. Boy, you should see them when they're ready. Big onions, probably a good 6 inches across, and sweet. Oh, you've never seen anything like it. The glamping coach is occupied this weekend, and we've also got the Cavell band back. So there's plenty for folk to see and do. As I say, it's early in the morning at the moment, so I'm able to film this without too many people around. What I'm going to do later, this is just a quick run round, you don't need all this. Go back through my back catalogue and you'll find the videos that I've done of the station. I usually try and record events, but what I will do, as I always try and do, we'll try and catch the trains as they come in. But as I'm booking clerk today, I've got work to do. See you later. I'm feeling the wind is going to play havoc with this. We've just had a Spitfire fly over, as often happens here. And here's the first train of the day. Morning, John. Now we just wait for the vintage bus to arrive from Robertsbridge to connect with this train. Well, this is the vintage bus that's doing the trip to Robertsbridge. I think it might classify as vintage. It's an ex-London Transport Titan, so it goes back a few years. But hopefully anybody travelling on it won't end up in Peckham this morning. But it's nicely turned out. Number 25 Bodiam prepares to depart.
See you later.
See ya. And that's the first train of the day gone. Hopefully the wind has dropped a little now. I'm actually sitting on the old plate layers trolley that we've got at the station, because this is a locomotive that I really wanted to film for you. This is our Terrier, and this one was here at the reopening of the station in 2000.
You're comfortable over there, Bernie.
I am indeed. And here it is again. And if it isn't, I'm going to be dreadfully embarrassed. You saw number 3, the model. Although this isn't the real thing of number 3, it is a genuine Screwdley Terrier. Yay. Only 2 carriages. There we go. Lovely little loco. Playing peekaboo. Now, if you want a roaring coal fire, there's one for you. Raking on the green flag now. Gates are closing. Right.
Bye, Jeff. See you later.
I forgot to pay the fine. Take it home now. Good.
Never mind.
So they had to push it into the siding.
Yes, sadly we've had to substitute 25 Northium, and instead we've got a chopper, class 20.
Please stand well clear of the edge of the platform because the trains will come in.
So I'll record it coming in, but this will also be the last train of the day, so I don't think I'll record that. I would have done if it had been steam. And there she is.
Enjpy.
And I'm standing in the shade behind the tree in the station garden. I said before, I'm not going to record the last departure today because that's a diesel. But this is most appropriate to record the last departure of this loco, built in 1880. And it was here to reopen the station in 2000, and it's here now 25 years later. And off she goes. Bit of black smoke there. Mind you, the loco's 120 odd years old, but I think we've probably got a duff lot of coal again. But I won't go into the politics of carbon footprint and that. We've got a nice little whistle up there, and that's it.